Good morning, Bonneville County. This is Breakfast with Senator Cook. I am Idaho State Senator Kevin Cook from District 32, live on Facebook. I try to do this every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. However, I did miss last Saturday. I spent, I think I got there at, we had a state prayer meeting that was really cool, and then I ran from that to do budgets, and I was in meetings all day Saturday doing budgets, and so I wasn't able to do Breakfast with Senator Cook, and so I apologize for that. But I do welcome your comments and your questions. Feel free to text, email, even call, and I will try my hardest to get back with you. Sometimes it is very hard. I have lots of emails that I'm still trying to sort through and get back with people, but please don't hesitate. You can join on here and submit your questions as well, and we'll try to answer them. Kind of a big week. It's the 9th week of the 2023 legislative session. The 9th week is done. It's in the books. We're over. So what happened? Well, kind of the first thing that happened was Governor Phil Batt. He passed away on March 4th, and it was on his birthday, his 96th birthday. He served as the Idaho governor from 1995 to 1999, and I got to meet him last year during Idaho Days. I was in charge of Idaho Days at the Senate Chambers, and we invited Governor Batt to come and speak at it. And then we sang some of his favorite songs. He was quite a musician. He wrote some songs, and we had a high school choir come and sing those songs. Thursday, they brought his body or casket into the capital, the Lion State. And I wasn't sure what that really meant, Lion State. But it was really interesting and quite an honor to see that. They had a ceremony on the front steps of the Capitol, and there was a flyover that was really impressive. I think there was 6 planes, I believe, that flew over. After that, they took his body or the casket into the Capitol, and they laid it, the casket in the middle of the rotunda. And if you haven't been to the Capitol building, you really should come. It is a very impressive building. Anyway, they laid it in front of the in the rotunda in the center, and then they had the 4 surviving governors speak. So you've got Governor Little, Governor Butch Otter, Risch, and Kempthorne. And so all 4 of them spoke. And they spoke about how Governor Batt had influenced our lives. Very interesting, some neat stories, but just some huge honors that they gave to Governor Phil Batt. Then after that, I kind of learned what it meant to Lion State. So a member of each of the military branches that are here in Idaho, and including the Idaho State Police officers, they had one from each branch, and they stood in that rotunda and did not flinch, didn't move until the changing of the guard. And I had an opportunity to see that happen, the change of the guard, and it was very good. It was just a neat thing to see. But they were there from Thursday afternoon all the way until all through the night until Friday, I think around 10 o'clock, I believe is when they took the casket, and they took it to the church there just down the street, and there's where they had the funeral. So it was pretty cool. Got to learn more about Governor Batt, and just an incredible man that he was, and some of the neat things that he did. So that was interesting. Okay, one of the big things that's, I keep thinking is going to happen is property tax relief, some breaks on our price. And I've talked about some of the 3 bills that they've been talking about and pushing, but nothing was happening. We went to the session thinking that we would get a property tax relief right off the bat. That way we had the money. Trying to reconnect here. Hopefully my phone's working here. Anyway, we would get, I really thought we'd have property tax relief set. Governor signed on the bill and it'd be done by now, but we're not. There was 3 bills that they've really been pushing, selling, so 2 of those bills have been combined. It's the third bill that was Representative Skog that looks like it's going to get left off, and so not sure what's going to happen with his. But let me just give you a few of the highlights of the bill, and we'll see what you think. But it appears that it's going to cost between $205 million and $355 million in relief. The relief money would come from a one-time transfer from surplus general funds and leftover money. The impact on the general fund for fiscal year 2023, so just fiscal year 2023, is $76.6 million, according to the fiscal note. In fiscal year 2024, we would use 4.5% of sales tax revenue, and it's estimated at $122.5 million would be used to go towards the property tax relief. So they're going to take 4.5% out of all of our sales tax. Okay, they're going to take that, and that's going to be applied. And when we talked about that before, in fiscal year 2025, 20% of what's known as the Wayfair account would be used to go towards the relief. And in the second and third years, around $110 million would be used for relief on homeowner occupied properties, and would show up as a credit on the tax bill. The bill would increase eligibility. This bill would increase the eligibility for what's known as a circuit breaker, which is a tax exemption. Shoot. Sorry, little technical problems here. Let's see, just a second. All right, I think we're still going. All right, sorry about that. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, the circuit breaker. This is basically a tax exemption for low-income homeowners. And the circuit breaker would be a household income eligibility would increase from $37,000 up from $31,900. So that will help. Your homeowner's exemption would go up from $300,000 to $400,000, and around $100 million would go to so part of this property tax relief, part of it would go to indirect property tax relief. About $100 million of this would go to school districts to be used in order of priority for paying off bonds and then levies. And then if they didn't have any bonds or no levies, or they were small enough, we would use the money for future construction needs. And then lastly, for new bonds. The bond would be distributed based on the average day attendance. So the legislature would also, part of this bill is to eliminate the March school district's voting day, where we vote in March and in May and in November, a whole bunch of different days. So they're going to eliminate one of those, so that is in March. That'll go away. So I think we're going to get something, and I kind of like what I hear. I haven't dug into it enough. I got to dig into it more and see, but I'd encourage you to do the same. Let's find out about this property tax and see what it's going to do. But on the surface, it looks really, really good. There's been several people working on that. Representative Ricks from up in Rexburg is part of it. Senator Groh from Meridian. Representative Monks is involved with it as well. So we've got some good tax people that are looking at it, trying to make sure it'll work. All right, some of the big bills that we did this week that I was involved with and debated on the floor was the broadband bill. This bill, it provides an additional appropriation of $124 million for a broadband infrastructure. I know, that's a lot of money. I understand that. But it's a one-time project. So this is ARPA money, and it's really what we've tried to do with ARPA money is do it as a one-time project, not something that commits us for years and years down the road. And the reason why is this money, federal government's in debt, this money is going to be paid back by our great-grandkids, and so we better use projects that our great-grandkids can use by them. The broadband is one of those. This is an infrastructure. Let's see, in 2021, the legislature created what we call the Idaho Broadband Advisory Board. And so this board, their whole idea is to look at the broadband. What do we do? How do we build it? How do we build this infrastructure and do it the right way that it can be here for years and years to come? On this board, there's 3 representatives. There are 3 senators, and there are 3 governor appointments. It's estimated that there's about 18,000 to 100,000 Idahoans that lack connections to broadband. This came to light during the COVID. We didn't see that here, but out in Idaho, in some of the rural areas, they would physically drive their car to the library, and the library in their town, and the library there had a Wi-Fi that was big enough that they could connect outside in the parking lot. So a lot of these kids were sitting out in the parking lot researching on their phone or mobile device so that they could do their homework. And so that's what we're trying to get away with. So we're trying to help Idaho get a broadband. This is big. It's a good thing to do. It will help our education. It will help our businesses. There was some debate about whether this was the proper role of government. And I believe it is. Think about Malad Pass. Malad Pass used to be a trail. Government got involved. They did a partnership with private industries, and they built a highway now that is used for businesses to sell their goods and their services, and for people like us to get back and forth to wherever we want to go. So government has teamed up with private businesses many, many times before. You look at the airlines, highways, railroads, even the cell phones. Government has partnered up with them to create an infrastructure. Your water, your sewage, your power lines, that infrastructure. Broadband is an infrastructure. And so, yes, I believe it is a good thing. And with the broadband board, they will make sure that money is used right, and we come out ahead with it. All right, another big one that I did was the MMIS. This is the Medicaid Management Information System, I believe is what it stands for. MMIS is a humongous application. There's 3 contractors, huge contractors that run this for us. It was created in the early 2000s, and so it is an old system. It does need to be replaced. A lot of it is not working correctly. In fact, some of the questions that they want to query and find out answers to about, are we spending this the right way in Medicaid? Is there another way to do it? They can't get the answers. The data is not there. We're not capturing the data. And so part of this would be to fix that data warehouse. Anyway, the price was huge. And so when I first started looking at it, I looked at saying, well, there's 50 other states that have an MMIS system. Why can't we just go get one of their systems and plunk it down on ours and save a whole bunch of money? I tried to go down that route, and as I found out that every state is just different. And so I thought, well, fine, let's change our legislation, let's change our rules. Let's make ourselves look more like Montana or Colorado or Delaware, I don't know. But why couldn't we do that? And the more I dug, the more I realized that's just not possible. And so then I thought, okay, then how do I lower the price? Because the price is $184 million. How do I lower the price? So I started calling state legislators all over the nation, talking with them, talking with each state's Department of Health and Welfare, CMS contractors. How can I lower the price? And I went down that road, and I got the answer that came back, and it says, listen, you guys are in the ballpark. Some thought we were a little high, some thought we were a little low, but we're in the ballpark. Okay. So then I thought, okay, if I can't lower the price, then I got to lower the risk, because we have to come in on time and under budget. So I looked at some of the risk and tried to figure that out, that we could do something there. Give you some ideas about this. We have a neighboring state that's replacing their MMIS system, their Medicaid system, and They says, nah, we're not going to go out and purchase it because it's too expensive. We're going to write our own. So they started writing their own, and it's only one module. Okay, there's 4 or 5 modules to do. The only one module, they are into it $300 million. We will not do that. So I worked very hard to get milestones and dates and how much money to get to each milestone and what are the deliverables. So we've got a schedule. I think we're in good condition. So we debated that and won the vote, and it's going forward. All right, probably one of the biggest things that affects Southeast Idaho that I'm sure you're going to laugh at me, and that's okay. Last spring, Representative Horman and myself were invited to a 4th grade class. We entered the building and we were escorted down the hallways, and we started going down the hallway. The 4th graders are clapping and screaming and yelling and excited to see us, and we go into their classroom and they have dinosaur treats. They have a dinosaur they have a watermelon cut up like a dinosaur egg and fruit in it. We had dinosaur punch and dinosaur treats and all of that stuff. And we sat down, and then they had Dr. K from ISU, who is a national renowned, world renowned paleontologist. I think I said that right. He studies dinosaurs. Well, these 4th graders want a state dinosaur, and they told us why they needed it. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to go back to the Capitol when we have property tax and all these other things that are going on, and then we're going to go present a bill like we need a state dinosaur. But we did it. So we did that yesterday. We had a 4th grader from Idaho Falls in person testify, very, very articulate. Then we had a 4th grade class virtual testify. They had them all in a kind of a semicircle, and then bring up one kid at a time, and each kid, very articulate, would say, we need a state dinosaur. This is why we need a state dinosaur, and this is why the Eryctodromus should be the state dinosaur. And so they were very, very good at stating their purpose, and we got a unanimous consent to move this bill with a due pass recommendation to the Senate floor. We had lots of help. We had the director from Commerce that helped us. We had Idaho Public TV. We had Department of Education. Critchfield was helping us. Lots of people here helping us, but just an incredible opportunity for our 4th graders to get involved with STEMs, to get involved with dinosaurs, to get involved with science, and then to see how it works, the civic duty, and how we get involved and laws are created and made in the process. So I think it was really, really good opportunity for them. We had several classes that were watching it online to see what was happening. So it was a great opportunity for all of them. So I'm excited about it. Let's see. Got a question here from Renee. My husband would like an update on teacher insurance. It's being revisited to better fund it. That is true. We are looking at that. Let's see. We just heard a bill. I think we just heard a bill on the floor. So what's going on for everybody else? If you're not familiar, last year we voted to fund an insurance for our teachers. We do that for all state employees, but we had never involved the teachers. And so last year we made that available to teachers, and I think only 26 districts took a hold of that and said we want to be part of that. And there were some real good reasons why some of the districts didn't take part of that. We didn't realize how many I'm saying it wrong, classified employees there were, and so we kind of came short of the funds. But we are talking with Representative Furness, who is an insurance salesman, knows the business, knows that he's the one that ran this bill. So we're going to open it up for another year. It was only supposed to be 2 years. You had to sign on within 2 years or the thing would be closed. You wouldn't be able to do it. So now we're opening up for 3 years. So you've got 2 more years before that closes. We're going to put a hunk of change in there that will help them to sign up and also help with those classified employees. So I think we've sweetened the deal, made it a little bit better, a little bit nicer for the districts to come on. I think they're estimating that they'll get 50 more districts, 50 or more districts come July, so the first of the fiscal year for 2024. So I think we're doing good there, and then it's moving forward. So hopefully that answered your question, Renee. Thank you for joining. Let's see. We're kind of running out of time. Maybe just real quick, the launch bill. Some of you have heard about the launch bill. That's the one to help our high school kids. We already have a launch program that is very, very, very successful. The data shows it's successful. These are for young adults that have graduated from high school and kind of just like, I kind of lost their way, didn't do anything. The current launch program is to get them back into school, whether that's college or welding or CNA or RadCon or cybersecurity, whatever, to get them back into school or some kind of program. What we're finding is when they entered into this launch program that they were making about $22,000 a year. And when they left the program, a year after leaving the program, they were making $38,000. So it's working, it's a good thing. And so what we've done is expanded that to high school students, when high school graduates, when they graduate from high school. There was a lot of discussion like, oh, this is just free money, this is socialism, blah, blah, blah. And so we've tightened it down. We've narrowed it down a little more. I think you'll like it. I believe that trailer bill will come to my committee Tuesday. And so if you want to watch for that, that's Tuesday at 1 o'clock. It's the Commerce and Human Resource. And you'll be able to hear us talk about and debate the trailer bill that will go hand in hand with the launch bill. So hopefully that'll be good. Let's see, we've got, let's see, Jefferson County, Idaho Republican women. I appreciate the way you explain the depth that goes into an issue. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and hopefully I'll get better at that, of explaining some of these issues. But there's lots and lots of moving parts, and it just had no idea when I first got back there. But it's very, very interesting. Learned a lot. Been very busy doing JFACs or budgets. We're thinking we will be done with our budgets Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. And so things are starting to close down as far as committees, and then passing the bills that are going to be flying back and forth between the House and the Senate. So it's a very busy time, and at this time you get lots of tempers start to rise at this time, because these are the last minutes and you want to get your bill through. So they're rising. The one bill that I'm working on that I'm still hoping to get through is the Parental Rights Protection of Children Minors Act, and that's to have if you activate your mobile device within the state of Idaho, then it has to turn on the parental filtering, the content filtering to filter out pornography. It has to turn that on by default if you activate your phone within the state of Idaho. You can still turn it off. You can say, yes, I want it, and give me a passcode so I can turn it off at a later time, or you can say, no, I don't want it, period. I want to view my pornography if that's what I want. So this is a good bill, and I think you'll see it come up this week in the state affairs to be debated. And there are plenty of people against that feel like you're taking my freedoms away. So that will be debated. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And we will talk to you next Saturday. Talk to you later. Bye.